How do you control your anger, anxiety during PMS?
Hey! How fucking hard it is. I'm actually PMS.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Hello! Where were you? Where were you? Where did you go?
I looked at you like I was like, are we ready? I don't know if we're ready.
We're always ready.
3, 2, 1. Hello! And welcome to this episode of BTW Bellabeat Talks Wellness Podcast.
I like that.
Today we'll be talking about PMS stories.
But before we get into that, I would like for us to introduce ourselves first for our new listeners out there.
Hello, my name is Urška and I'm the co-founder of Bellabeat, the beautiful company behind this podcast.
And I am Melanie, the content director behind all of the content you see in Bellabeat Coach and Period Diary. So welcome. Today we're going to get right into our topic, which is PMS. But before we get into those PMS stories, actually, we do want to say like and subscribe to our channel. We are on Instagram, we are on YouTube, we are on Facebook, we are all over the place. Spotify. That's a good one. Apple Music as well.
Yeah, but I prefer YouTube because you can see our beautiful faces.
That's so true. That's so true.
We put a lot of effort in our appearance today.
We did. I woke up early for this. So yeah. And you're like, for that? Oh, no.
So many lies right now. so many lies. Like, we should stop. Let's just
get into this. Topic, yeah. I'm going to start with one that actually I saw on Am I the Asshole? And when I was reading it, I was like, well, she's not the asshole. And it turns out that Reddit, because I'm going to man hate. It's just filled with men. They were like, you're the asshole. And so I'm going to defend her before I start this, just to lure you in a little bit. So, am I the asshole for expecting some slack from my boyfriend during PMS?
No, immediately no.
Exactly. Done. And that's the episode.
Next
no,
one.
I'm just kidding. So, my boyfriend and I had an argument because I was irritable due to PMS. As one usually is. He didn't think that was a valid reason. I believe it's a valid reason for mood swings and wanted some understanding. My boyfriend, 29, and I, 27, have been dating for 4 years and usually have a pretty good relationship. I was feeling awful due to PMS and my irritability got the best of me. I apologized and explained my PMS, but he didn't think that was an excuse. We argued about whether PMS is a valid reason for mood swings. He compared it to his bad days, and I believe it's a bit different. He left in frustration. Am I wrong for expecting some understanding when I'm physically and mentally unwell during PMS? Go.
So no, let's repeat no.
No, yeah, it's still a hard no.
Still a hard no. No, so I think like obviously, when we are aware that we are PMSing, that mood swings might be more present, I think all of us try to kind of manage that anyways. Nobody wants to let that get the hold of us.
No one wants to be a PMS patty.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Nobody enjoys that. Nobody wants us to be, assholes to everybody around us. But sometimes it's just that
you just snap.
You just snap. And I think it's also because during the rest of our cycle, we are so much more tolerant towards stuff. It's not like that during PMS we become extra sensitive. We just kind of become less tolerant,
yeah.
BS. Less patient.
Absolutely.
So during the rest of the cycle, we might suffer all of your BS and all of your bad days and everything. But then when it comes to PMS, we just don't have that buffer anymore.
You don't have the energy for
it. Exactly. And it just comes out. Everything comes out. I
know my boyfriend and I, that's when I'm the most argumentative is during my PMS. And I know I'm being like irrational sometimes, but I do ask him for patience.
But is it being irrational?
No,
or
it's honestly, but like you said, I don't have tolerance. Like
yeah.
I'm short fused. Like my body is hurting. Like
exactly.
I am physically, mentally unwell. Like she said, I don't think she's the asshole. The people on Reddit were like, yeah, you're the asshole. But I think those people are wrong.
Exactly. No, I mean, imagine you having a headache or a toothache.
Yeah.
And then, people expecting you being tolerant during
of their bullshit.
Yeah, their bullshit. So that's kind of on par.
Absolutely. And so it's like, it's okay to like try to manage it and stuff. And sometimes you snap. But I think the biggest thing is when you bring awareness to it and, if you're using our app and you're tracking your cycle, you're going to know when your PMS is basically starting just from, cycle mapping and tracking. So little plug, download the app, follow your cycle. And so you can bring awareness to when you're going to PMS. And then, you're going to be able to kind of handle those emotions more. And like, you're going to feel the blood just boiling, but maybe you won't snap because you kind of understand that maybe this isn't the best resolution right now. But yeah, I'm going to say you're not the asshole. I'm sorry, not the asshole.
Okay, so I think I'll just follow up with the male perspective.
Ooh.
Because I think it's very similar.
Yeah.
So PMS is not a path to be a bad person.
Ooh. Okay.
No, but I see where this is going.
Yep.
I'm happily married, but I feel like my relationship erodes a bit every month. My wife, a lovely and funny woman, turns into a different person during her menstrual cycle. You mean during the end of the menstrual cycle? Schooled.
Cool. You get him, girl. You get him. You show him who's boss.
Which has been amplified since her myoma removal.
Ooh, okay.
I mean, she had a procedure done.
Yeah.
This has led to a prolonged state of PMS for the past 6 months. My friend's mother and sister have experienced similar situations. Ladies, if you have any suggestions, please advise. We're gonna
give you some advice.
Yeah, we're gonna give you an advice.
Yeah.
Currently, my main approach is to limit interactions to avoid unpleasant encounters leading to resentment.
Okay. So
First of all, the audacity of men thinking that they only have good days.
yeah.
Thinking that they don't have mood swings, that they don't have periods when they're unpredictable or in a bad mood. It's just that our bad days can be compressed into those 4 to 5 days that are easy to predict, and also we are kind of taught to feel very bad about, and we're really trying really hard
There's
to manage
a society, like a
But
societal
men,
pressure on it, yeah.
Nobody puts pressure on men not to be assholes on just regular basis in unpredictable situations. I mean, and the audacity of them thinking that they are the saints in this situation.
Patriarch.
Yeah.
I think something that really stood out to me about that, and it actually bothers me, is that he said he was avoiding her during these times, and it leads to resentment. I understand that, because if my partner was avoiding me during a certain time of the month, I would resent that. I would feel neglected. I would feel ignored. I would feel bad. Like I would be angry about it. Like he's just making it worse by doing that. And welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show, puppies.
Yes, we are a dog-friendly office, so.
Yeah, so definitely this was also my thought. Like, why are you not helping her get through this period, like this phase? Why are you not, giving her massages, bringing chocolate home, whatever she needs? Yeah. The good thing about PMS is that it's kind of, it's caused by hormonal changes.
And it is an actionable scientific thing. It happens.
But that means that you can also help yourself with natural remedies. It's very easy to, or like at least if it's not pathological, it's easy to manage.
But she mentioned that she had a surgery. And so this has been going on for like 6 months. My problem as well is the lack of patience that this man has for his beautiful, normally funny wife. She just had a major surgery done. She just had a major...
Exactly.
And it takes time for your body to come back to that homeostasis, if you will. Right now, it's obviously off balance. And the lack of patience that he has for her and lack of understanding, and he's just avoiding her, is probably making this problem a million times worse.
And interestingly enough, I've heard that nurses are actually trained to prepare their female patients when they get cancer or serious conditions for the fact that their husband might or is very likely to leave them.
Yeah, there's a statistic about that.
Exactly. When the situation is reversed, when the husband gets sick, women are prepared to basically drop everything and adjust their lifestyle so that they can be their main caregiver.
Caretaker, yep. And it's so few and so rare to see the man taking care of the woman. And it shows here as well.
It's something as little as this. He's already bothered by it.
Yeah. And they've been together for years.
He already feels, how's it called? Incommodated by the fact that she had a little procedure that is bothering her, and probably she had some pain from it, and might cause some hormonal disbalance as well.
Absolutely.
And he's already bothered
And he's
by
already
it.
bothered. And it was 6 months ago. That's lame.
He's talking about resentment.
That's lame. That's so lame. That's so awful. I'm so sorry you have that partner. Like, you know, and I get like people come to Reddit to like vent and stuff. And sometimes maybe it's not as bad, but like,
I know, but
grow the fuck up. Like, sorry, but I'm going to say it. Like, that is your partner. You promise to take care of them in health, in sickness. Like, she is sick. Yeah. She needs patience. She needs some love. Yeah. She needs attention, not avoidance.
If I read something like this that my partner wrote, I would leave him immediately.
Absolutely, though. Absolutely.
Immediately.
Because imagine if things got worse. Imagine if you ended up, like, having to be, God forbid, like, you know, you get cancer, you're on chemo, and, like, he doesn't want to take care of you because, you know, you're not this happy, funny person anymore.
Get out as soon as you can.
Yep. Get out. So how do you control anger and anxiety during PMS? I find a week or two before my period, I am an absolute maniac and do not feel like myself at all. Hello. I feel that this interferes with my relationships and find myself getting upset, irritated with my boyfriend way too often. And small stressors in the very back of my head, which shouldn't even be an issue. Those tend to flare up and cause major anxiety and sadness. I would like to stop getting extremely irritated and needy with my friends and boyfriend during this time. Does anyone have any advice? Boy, do we. We got some advice for you. I found out my PMS symptoms are less aggressive when I cycle sync. When I'm working out with my body, when I'm eating right with my cycles, when I'm understanding where I am in my cycle, download the app. But really, when I follow my cycle and I know where I am, and I know my PMS is coming, I've like been eating well, I've been working out, and like just really in tune with myself. Yeah. Meditation, 1 minute a week. Come on, like breathing.
Exactly.
That's going to help you immensely.
Yeah, I think like if you visualize a house or your apartment, like if you leave the cleaning to the end of the month and you let things just bulk up and, the messiness just getting larger and larger until the end of the month, then at the end of the month you have like so much to clean up. Yeah. It's so much harder. Yeah. But if you do the cleaning every day,
kind of maintenance, little maintenance every day.
If you're doing maintenance every day, then at the end of the month, when you have to do like the general cleanup, there's not much to do. Yeah, right.
That's true.
That's true. I think good. That's how I imagine it. Yeah. And as well, exactly what you said. Even if you don't cycle sync, just maintaining your body on a regular basis, basically, is just common sense. Yeah. Working out. Eating properly,
well,
sleeping well, taking care of yourself. Yep. It might lead to you having better hormonal balance. Absolutely. Especially during the last weeks of your cycle when, the drops are more critical, and that's when PMS symptoms come up.
And also maybe a supplement of B vitamins could help.
Yeah, and magnesium.
And magnesium, absolutely. Both of those are great. And so, supplements as well. But also, if you really feel that your symptoms are out of control and that you don't have, if you just feel like you don't have control coming from somebody that has felt that, you should speak to you should speak to somebody, whether it's a therapist, whether it's a psychiatrist, your gyno, speak to somebody. Because it could be symptoms of PMDD. I'm not diagnosing you. I'm not saying you have that. I'm just saying that there are women that have it, that don't know they have it, and don't know that what they are experiencing is very not natural, and it's a chemical imbalance within your brain, actually.
Exactly. So it's better to take care of it instead of you feeling guilty about it, which makes it probably even worse.
Don't feel guilty. Yeah. We're allowed to be assholes too. If men can be assholes, we can be assholes. So, amen.
That gives us a pass.
Oh, I think I saw one about like there's a pass, but
I think we did that one.
Oh, okay.
But maybe like a totally different perspective from a woman who never experiences PMS. How does it feel
to be one of the great ones? Like, how does it feel to be loved by the gods so much?
Exactly. So I am a woman who has never experienced PMS and wondering if it's real. Oh, honey.
Oh, girl.
I'm in my late 20s and I've never experienced typical PMS symptoms. When women talk about cravings, mood swings, and heightened emotions, it's truly puzzling to me. I do have my ups and downs, but I don't see them tied to my cycle. Does anyone else feel this way, or am I an outlier? For those who do experience PMS, how do you distinguish it from just having a regular emotional day? Just because you feel a certain way on Monday and get your period on Tuesday doesn't necessarily mean it's linked. I don't want to dismiss anyone's experiences, so if you say it's real, I'll take your word for it.
Wow.
I can't be alone in wondering about this.
I think a guy wrote that. I think a guy wrote that.
I don't know, but I think so. Interestingly,
Yeah.
I was on the pill since I turned 17. So from between 17 and 28, I was consistently on the pill.
Yeah.
So I didn't really have a natural cycle.
True. Yeah.
And therefore, I also didn't experience most of the symptoms.
That's true. Yeah.
I didn't
Because you have
experience
fake periods. Pretty
exactly.
much.
I didn't really experience
your
PMS
hormones
symptoms
while
at
you're
all.
on the pill are a little bit more level, whereas your regular cycle they move up and down. A little
They're kind
more
of
roller
similar
coaster.
to luteal phase, and then obviously you do have a little bit of drop because you do get period.
Yeah,
Otherwise you wouldn't get your period.
Exactly.
But it's not as dramatic as it is when you have a natural cycle.
Absolutely.
Or in a lot of natural cycles. Not all.
Not all. Of course.
Even a lot of women that have natural cycle don't experience PMS symptoms,
true.
and that's normal as well. And they're just blessed. But I think like a lot of women don't realize that if they are on hormonal contraception, this is the reason that might prevent them from feeling a lot of those symptoms. And I also didn't experience them. And then when I got off the pill, when I started to experience my natural cycle, I realized I'm a crazy person.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the world.
In fact, I am.
I was always crazy.
I also
just the pill
thought
was hiding
I was
it.
special.
Yeah.
But I'm not.
But also maybe she just has a naturally, like, just genuinely healthy lifestyle.
Exactly.
And maybe she's just, like, has her hormones are in sync and, like, she's eating well, she's working out, and she's just one of those that, like, by the grace of God, it's like just has smaller symptoms than other people and fluctuations.
And that's why she doesn't experience PMS symptoms, or she's better prepared for those fluctuations psychologically and physically. So she's better prepared to cope with them. So
don't complain, you go girl.
You're just blessed.
You're just blessed. Hashtag you blessed. You blessed.
Yeah.
All right, let me get into this one. Husband, question about period PMS. Please be gentle. I'm an idiot. Well, as long as you said it first. So my wife's on her period and she's noticeably irritable. Small things set her off. I wonder why. If PMS is a factor and she's uncomfortable, she doesn't take it easy. When I'm not feeling well or in a bad mood, I avoid things that might bother me. But she just carries on, and predictably, she's often angry. I'm struggling to understand.
What are we supposed to do?
Exactly. Well, this is just,
you have to carry on.
I'm struggling to understand this, and it's getting hard to hold back my reactions. Note, I'm sorry if I've said anything insensitive about periods or PMS. It's due to my lack of understanding. For context, I have been handling things for her all week, always checking in with her first. I've been doing childcare duties, though she insists on doing it. I've taken care of all the dishes this weekend. She hasn't touched them once. I brought her electric piano up from the basement and made her favorite pasta dish. Okay, well, you're on the right track.
Yeah.
You're on the right track.
But you don't get a reward for it. This is how it should be. I mean, you're on the right track, and this is how it should be.
Yeah, but I mean, like, just, she's noticeably irritable and things set her off. I mean, I guess it just kind of depends on what's setting her off, but it never hurts to have a conversation, and to just let her know, like, hey, like, I know that you were in pain and this is not, normal, but it is, like, it is normal.
Yeah.
It's just not a constant, like, you're not always like this, but this is what I can do to help you. Do not ask her what you can do to help, because that's just going to set her off. No, that is a mental load. Say, I can do this, and this.
It requires planning from her.
Yep. And so what you want to do is take those off her. So keep doing what you're doing. Keep being around the house,
Just figure it out on your own.
You have to, yeah. And just say, hey, I'm going to do this for you. I'm going to do this for you. And I'm going to do this for you. And then just leave it at that. Don't basically just treat her like a princess and don't have her make those decisions for you.
But also that question, why is she not avoiding things that make her angry?
Okay.
that's super hard because
everything makes you angry.
The world and life is not adjusted to the female hormonal cycle, unfortunately. So we don't have the luxury of taking a week off every month.
Exactly.
Just to not be triggered by other things that
have built up.
Have built up during the month. She just needs to carry on, and she just needs to face things even if she doesn't feel like it. So just try to imagine you having a bad day. And having to do things that you've set up for that day.
Yeah.
You don't have a choice.
It's hard.
Yeah.
I would say
kids don't go away.
Kids interestingly. She knows. Yeah.
I've learned that in the last couple of months. Kids don't go away when you feel bad.
Yeah. If anything, they want you more.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, I think you're on the right track. You're doing, I mean, I'm not going to say bare minimum, but you are helping and you're being helpful. But you just have to communicate.
Kudos for that.
But kudos for that, because a lot of men are just going to be angry and just kind of be like, fuck this bitch.
Dismissive.
Dismissive, yeah.
So talking about kids, I have one about postpartum.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm in postpartum right now.
Yay!
Did you experience worse PMS symptoms postpartum? After giving birth almost 8 months ago, that's exactly me, but it's not my comment.
Okay. But it's not.
My emotions, particularly before my period, have been much more intense than pre-pregnancy. My period returned at 4 months postpartum, and since then I've noticed heightened emotion sensitivity. I'm highly irritable, have thin patience, and find myself tearing up over minor inconveniences. Before pregnancy, my cycle was regular and healthy, and while I might have felt a bit irritable at times, it was never this pronounced. I'm uncertain if it's related to postpartum depression, since I generally feel okay at other times. Still breastfeeding, so maybe my hormones are still finding their balance. Anyone else experienced something similar?
You know the best.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is my first pregnancy, so I don't know the best, but like from my experience, my cycle has barely returned. I think I've only had one real period so far, so I think I'm in my second cycle, let's say. And I should have gotten my period today or maybe tomorrow. I don't know, because usually it also takes, I've checked with our chief medical officer. It takes a little bit for your period to settle after postpartum.
Yeah, of course, especially if you're breastfeeding.
Exactly,
So.
but exactly what she's describing, I mean, she's just had a baby, and it doesn't even have to be postpartum depression mixing with her cycle hormones getting back into the balance to get to make PMS be more pronounced. It's also that she's probably not sleeping enough.
I was gonna say, she's a new mom.
She's a new mom. She's breastfeeding. She's probably tired,
exhausted,
as I am. I mean, I haven't slept in months.
But you look great.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
But I'm very irritable. I mean, so it's super easy to be in a bad mood. It's super easy to be reactive. To feel like you're overwhelmed. So I don't think it doesn't even have to be postnatal depression. It doesn't even have to be PMS. It's just, you just had a baby.
Yeah, that's it. Your body's still finding, again, I'm bringing this up, your body's finding that homeostasis. It's trying to balance, and
your life's a mess.
Your life's a mess, yeah. That first year is...
I think it's that. It's just your life's a mess.
And your life's a mess. Sorry, girl, sit down.
I mean, if you just had a baby 8 months ago, your life is a mess. I can claim this with confidence for anybody.
Absolutely.
I know my life's a mess.
Yeah.
But I've also read that recently they've changed postpartum from, I don't know, the first 2 years or 4 years to 7 years.
Yeah.
So you're in your postpartum for 7 years after you've had a baby.
Well, Sarah, one of our experts that we work with, she says that you're forever postpartum, really.
Obviously, but you are post having a child, or children.
But it really puts it into perspective that it's not just, oh, I had a baby, I'm postpartum for 3 months. Like, no. This could be, years. So this is years. It was that 9 months, growing a baby and then having the baby takes such a toll on your body.
Exactly.
And you need time to heal. Yeah. And it takes a lot of time for your body to come back to that, natural state. Some people, come back quicker than others, but, it's not a race, let's not compare. But you just have to remember that a literal human just came out of you, and you should be patient with yourself,
And exactly, even though this is the hardest time to do this, it's even more important to try to take care of yourself and develop a healthy routine. So eating healthily, working out, now it's more important than ever, even though it's harder than ever.
Absolutely.
But it will help you so much in regulating all the changes that your body is going through.
Yep, absolutely. So be gentle with yourself. I have one, and this one we actually had our chief medical officer fact checked, so we're gonna throw a little plug in there, that this one's like real deal, and probably one that we've all experienced multiple times in our life. And we like to call this one
if you're in your 30s,
if you're in your 30s, absolutely. If you're in your 20s, how about that? If you're in your teens, maybe even. No. Is there any way to tell PMS and pregnancy symptoms apart?
Oh my God. I have a story about that.
All right. Well, let me read this person's thing and then we'll get into that. So I'm 21F. See, early 20s. I'm 21, female, and my period is 4 days late, but I took an emergency contraception 20 days ago, so a delay is expected for up to a week. So she took the anti-ovulatory contraception, so it delays so if you want to, if you don't know, like basically it delays your ovulation, so you don't get pregnant. But lately I've been experiencing symptoms that overlap between pregnancy and PMS. So insomnia, increase in appetite, pimples, anxiety, and agitation. I've also had morning diarrhea for the past 3 days. How do I differentiate between PMS and pregnancy symptoms, and what signs should I watch out for in case of pregnancy?
PMS poop and pregnancy poop.
See, it's the same. So basically when we talked to our CMO about this, she said the only way you're going to be able to tell is by taking a pregnancy test, and if you still think you're pregnant after a negative test, or you get a positive test, go see your doctor, have your blood work done. And that's ultrasound, yeah, but that's really the only way, because PMS and pregnancy symptoms
overlap so much.
Because the gods hate us. Like, what did we do in our lives and our past lives to deserve such teasing? But you said you had a story.
Yeah, I had a story. Okay. So, a little bit more than a year ago, interestingly.
Wow, when you're only 8 months postpartum? Okay.
So it was way more. I have a story about this because, so I'm not big on TikTok, but at that time, I still didn't have any children, so every once in a while, I filmed a TikTok.
Okay.
And I was having the worst PMS ever, so I did this little cute TikTok of like hot girl walks to manage PMS symptoms. So I filmed myself in my cute outfit, doing a hot girl walk.
Did you ever post those?
I did, trying to get rid of PMS symptoms. Interestingly enough, a week later, I still didn't get my period, so I did the test, and I was pregnant. So this is how I found out that I was pregnant, and then I did a follow-up TikTok where I was like, oops, it wasn't really a PMS, I was actually pregnant.
Lols.
But it was just that. It felt exactly the same as PMS. I was irritated, I was anxious, I felt bloated.
You were hungry.
I was hungry.
Diarrheaing.
My head hurt, so I literally, it was really genuine. I went for a walk.
Yep.
I put a cute outfit on because I wanted to make myself feel better. So I went for a walk. I filmed myself. I was like, yeah, PMS girly.
Feeling it. Yeah, period coming soon, to a vagina near you.
Yeah,
so.
No, period didn't come.
Well,
I was pregnant.
But not to scare this person, but yeah, you took a test.
I took a test.
Then you went to the doctor. And
exactly. So I
but honestly,
peed on the stick first.
Yep.
It was positive, and then I went to get my ultrasound. There was a little dot.
But I mean, that's it.
And now I have a baby.
Now you have a baby. So, but it is really hard to tell symptoms apart from PMS and pregnancy. Again, and I know your third time's a charm. Download the app. Follow your cycle, but then because you can kind of
period
diarrhea, yep. But then you can kind of compare, like on a scale of like 1 to 10, how you were last month, whenever you were PMSing.
Exactly.
So I write down all of my, so you can log your moods and symptoms, and then I write like a little note in it as well, like just kind of the extremity, or if it's like really high irritability, or if it's low, and then I compare that through my period diarrhea
reports. You can download all your data.
Yeah, exactly,
and have it in PDF format, so you can really compare everything.
Exactly, and I do that, and then so I've had plenty plenty of pregnancy scares. Like, it's just a natural cycle thing. Like if you, use condoms or any kind of contraception that's not the pill or anti-ovulation.
It's not as a reliable
Exactly. You can always be paranoid, but I can compare my PMS symptoms to the previous month because I have it all in that report and the months before. So
it's also just mixing with the PMS anxiety.
That's true.
So it's double trouble for that. You're already anxious because you don't know, like
exactly.
Maybe. But then you're also anxious because of your hormones.
Exactly.
So
it just delays
tracking
it
and
even
mapping
more.
your cycle just makes it easier for you. And the same, like my cycle is super regular as well, so it's really easy to predict things. But for women who don't have as regular cycle, I think it's even more important to track their cycle, to map it out and really observe the symptoms, to be able to predict when their ovulation is coming, when their period is coming, and just be on top of their
shit.
their shit.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think for this girl, like, I'm sure by now she's gotten her period.
Or not.
Or not. We don't know where she's pregnant. Congratulations, maybe. There was, there was no response to it. But basically, you don't know. You just have to test. Unfortunately, that's just the world we live in.
And on that note.
Goodbye. No. Just so abrupt.
We'll leave you to your own thoughts.
Test. But yeah, that's really good. And so if you guys have any questions or any stories about PMS that you want to share with us, you can always comment. We're going to love to reply to those. I love replying to y'all's comments. I don't know.
We'll also just love reading them.
And love reading them, yeah. And if y'all have any stories,
yes,
give us the tea so we can read it. So we can, and comments on it. That's our favorite.
And we might include it in some of the next episodes.
Absolutely. So anything that y'all write down or send us, like, we would be more than happy to include that, whatever you're comfortable with, of course. But if you have any questions about PMS or if you have any fun stories, send them to us. We want to read them. So yeah, that's awesome. But thank you so much for listening or watching. If you're watching,
exactly.
If you're watching, hello. No.
And don't forget to follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts.
Bellabeat Talks Wellness, BTW, Bellabeat Talks Wellness podcast.
Exactly. And if you want to watch videos, check out our YouTube channel.
Yep.
And also
I'm loving our Instagram.
Yeah,
BTW, Bellabeat Talks Wellness. That's a really good one. And you can get a lot of snippets and just good content
fun
from
moments.
Us. Yeah.
Maybe even bloopers. I don't know.
Oh, we don't have bloopers.
All right.
Well, thanks for listening, guys, and we will see you next time.